What do we got? Five of Wands. Okay, that's not fun. So what happened? Who's fighting? Seven of Swords. Oof. Five of Wands and the Seven of Swords. What else? Lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating, sneakiness, lies, fighting, arguing, and it keeps continuing. What's going on? What are you doing here? Eight of Pentacles. And the Tower. Choof. Okay, so this is what I'm getting so far with this. We'll clarify. You've been in a very tumultuous, I want to say, situation. There's some sort of situation that you've been in recently. We have the Eight of Pentacles. It might be regarding work. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of backstabbing, mind games, you name it. Any narcissist's little playground I'm getting, but multiple, not just one person, multiple kind of negative entities, I'll call them. If you want to call them human, maybe. But the Seven of Swords and, the Tower here, eventually a situation that has no base, that has no foundation crumbles, no matter how cheaply built, no matter how many lies that were built, up, the smoke and mirrors, the facade, I want to call it, right? A building might have a beautiful facade, but under the underlying structure is unstable. That's what I'm getting. So whatever tower that you were in currently, maybe you are in a tower, like literally, I'm getting like skyscraper energy. I'm getting like the Empire State Building for some reason, some kind of like business, structure, multiple floors, whatever. But at the same time, um, this is a very shaky environment. So what else? Let's see. What's up with the Five of Wands? Okay, what is this? Strength. Hmm. So, okay, so instead of, yeah, these people don't get along, obviously. Whatever situation you were in, no one is getting along. Like the Strength card is all about opposing energies that work together well, right? That actually gives you strength. But these people were not working together at all. They're working against each other. And that's the problem here. That's the problem. What else? We have the Death card that came out with it. The Five of Wands, the Strength card, and the Death card. The Death and the Tower are very similar cards. It's all about transforming. Obviously, this is a bad sign, for this environment because, fighting and arguing and competition only lasts so long until you all fight each other to death, basically. That's what I'm getting here. It's like a war zone, right? When two, I'm getting kind of like a Game of Thrones where there's two, you know, um, I don't know what you want to call them, two platoons, and eventually they start fighting on the field, right? And everyone dies. Everyone dies in war, right? Until like what? There's a couple people left, and in this scenario, I think it's like the boss or whoever owns this scenario. Like everyone else is gonna be kaput. Everyone is gonna fight themselves to death, basically, by either jumping out of the building with the tower or just getting killed off, the Death card. And again with the Strength card, it's about the woman kind of petting the lion's head. There might be Leo energy here. There's a lot of arrogance if Leo is reversed. Everyone has good and bad signs and qualities, so it's no judgment. But a Leo that's in their negative will be arrogant, right? Prideful. And instead of working together, they'll just kind of like do whatever they want for their image because their image has to be pristine. So again, this is not teamwork here. This is giving me fighting, arguing, competition, and people kind of dying off. Like they're either quitting or they're just like putting each other in these checkmates scenarios with each other. There could be a lot of manipulation. There could be actually a lot of like dating each other, but it's like a honeypot kind of atmosphere where they all date each other. No one really gives each other respect. They're almost like setting each other up, right? So that's fun. What's up with the Seven of Swords? What's up with the Seven of Swords? Temperance. What else? And the King of Swords. Mind games, manipulation, extremes of all kinds. With the Seven of Swords, which is all about manipulation and lies and deceit. Again, people using extremes to get what they want. Like kind of forcing people to make, there's a lot of chess moves being made in this scenario with people. A lot. It's a toxic environment, basically, when it comes down to it. If you want to just call it like it is, it's a toxic environment. People are using extremes to get over on one another. They might exploit their sexual energy to like flirt with people, but just to get control, if that makes sense. It's like baby trapping if it's the female version, and it's just like, being a player if it's the male version. They all do it to each other, male or female. They all do it to each other, which is the toxic part. It's like they're all using each other. They're all playing with one another's minds. They're using each other, like it's just not good energy. Eight of Pentacles. What's the Eight of Pentacles? We got the Nine of Swords. And what else? The Four of Wands. Again, the structure here, there's no structure. The Four of Wands is all about having a good foundation. It could mean marriage, right? Having the four pillars. You create a structure together. But at the same time, it's about a foundation. This is giving me structural vibes again with the Tower and the Four of Wands. These people in this work environment, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, there's so much mind games with everybody that no one knows who to trust. There's no foundation at all with anybody. It's all these surface level facades, pretty outside, desolate inside. That's what I'm trying to see here. Or just really toxic insides, right? A lot of anxiety, a lot of not knowing, especially when you're dealing with extremes. There's a cognitive dissonance of like, well, he's telling me that he supports me, but behind my back, he's telling other people that I'm this or that. It's like the cognitive dissonance is the opposites you happening at the same time, and you can't believe. It's hard to believe both is happening at the same time. It's like having an abusive parent, right? For instance, as an example, say your mother hits you, you know, but she also tells you that she loves you. So that's a cognitive dissonance of being like, well, how can she love me and then abuse me at the same time? And then you go back and forth being like, well, she loves me, so she must be hitting me for a good reason. And it's like, no, it's abuse. And she's telling you lie. Like she might be telling you that she loves you, but she doesn't know how to actually love you healthfully. So she's being unhealthy, she's being toxic, she's being abusive, and she doesn't know better. That doesn't mean that it's okay. So your brain starts to break because you're like, I can't wrap my head around this. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't. Cognitive dissonance. It's like I can't believe both at the same time, or when you do believe both, it's two conflicting ideas and ideologies. just not as an example, but in this workplace scenario, it's like we're a supportive family, like we're this and that, and leave your troubles behind. No one judges you here. We're a family, and then at the same time, everyone's using each other, everyone's talking about each other behind their backs, everyone's lying, getting up on one another. It's like this. It's like giving me like there's a 20 people and they're all trying to run up the stairs at the same time, and they're like jumping over each other's backs and pushing each other down. It's like a stampede to get to the top of the stairs. They're all going to fight it out. Like like these, just, I don't know, it's not giving me good energy. So the tower, what's going to happen? Four of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So, of course, when the tower falls, at least you have, if you look at it from an optimistic point of view, um, when the tower falls, you have time to rest because you're at rock bottom, and it forces you to kind of rest and go inward with the Four of Swords. And we also have the Knight of Wands, which is fire energy. Um, the things with the wands is that it's all about action and passion, right? And creativity, but it's an act. It's not who they are, it's what they're doing, right? So I think this person is going to be forced to rest because they don't have a choice, because the tower is going to fall, and you can't stop a tower from falling as a human being. It's impossible. So you have to leave it alone and let it crumble. This is again, um, a lot of toxic energy, but again, the structure is not there. It's faulty. It's a faulty structure. It would not pass inspection if you really look into it. That's what I'm getting from it. So let's see what happens. Okay, so let's pull an oracle. A magical surprise, a joyous gift is swooping in from the heavens. So this is the funny thing with how life works sometimes. We might be stuck in a place where we think it's going well, or we're trying to force it to go well, or we know deep down inside it's not a good place, it's a toxic place, or you know we've all been in a job, I'm sure, where that it's bad for your health and your mindset, and everything about it sucks, but you just do it for the money because it gives you at least security. But it's a lazy type of security because it's not healthy for you, so it's going to come out through your health eventually, right? But this is the thing, the tower is a joyous gift. Unfortunately, it's after the doom and destruction that happens. After that, it gives you a clean slate. So sometimes God or spirit or like life, let's just call it life, will demolish everything that you thought was stable, but it never was to begin with. And it's going to show you that. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, life is indifferent to how you feel. Nature is indifferent to how you feel. Like, right? Like, it's not gonna nature isn't going to stop what it's doing because someone is upset over something, or someone feels uncomfortable, right? you know um it's going to rain whenever it wants to rain. It's going to have a hurricane whenever it's going to have a hurricane. It's not going to be like, you know what, a hurricane isn't going to happen today because Susan in Florida felt like she was a little depressed today. Like, nature doesn't care about how you feel. It just happens. It's indifferent. So this tower moment is indifferent to how you feel about it or what you wished for it to be like, because again, a faulty, unstable environment will eventually fall. It always will. It might take longer than you think, or it might be really fast because the tower happens fast. But we have the death card in the tower, and the death is all about scorpionic energy of transformation. So this might be a surprise to you when it crumbles, because it always will be, because who expects the world to crumble? If you walk outside, if you wake up every day and you're just like, oh, today is the day that everything's going to fall apart. Like, maybe you shouldn't be thinking like that anyway. Like, we all think that there might be a chance, but to expect it to happen every day, no one does. So this, of course, is going to come as some sort of surprise to you when it crumbles, but it's going to be a gift. It's going to be a gift. It's going to help you move forward because it was never stable to begin with.